Today I wanted to talk about using our body to its full capacity. And I want to start out by saying this, that I made a little bit of a discovery, and maybe that's why I got sick, was because I was supposed to figure this out. But a few years ago, I had capsulitis in my shoulder, my left shoulder. And when it started hurting, I decided, that I just didn't want to move in that way. That's just kind of how I worked that out for myself. So the one thing I noticed that I did a lot was, when you put something in the back seat of your car and you have to reach back for it, well, I realized that hurt really bad to reach back like that. So instead of like reaching back this way to get stuff, I started reaching back this way to get stuff, so that my shoulder didn't hurt. And over time, not using my shoulder like in all the ways that you can use a shoulder, back and forth and twisting, that ability to use my shoulder went away. And I want to show you this because I want you to know to the extent of what it was. I went to physical therapy. Let me just, I'll show you. I'll stand up in a second. I went to physical therapy and they put me through just a lot of little bitty tests just to see what abilities I still had. One of the things, the most remarkable to me, I'm so sorry, I bet that made a lot of noise, was this one that they had me do. Okay, so they asked me to put my hand as far back behind my back as I could. And I couldn't go back behind it at all. I could only get my arm to like right here. Like, I know that sounds like that's insane and that couldn't possibly be true, but I could not do more than this. I couldn't do this. Obviously I can now, but when my shoulder was frozen, I couldn't do that. And so with having that pain, and just for a little short time not using my shoulder, I lost the ability to use my shoulder. And then, when your people are in a cast, the same thing happens to them. Once you get that cast off, you think you're just gonna especially if it's like a broken something on your leg, ankle, foot, whatever, you think, well, as soon as I get this cast off, I'm gonna go. And then you get it off, and the first time you step on it, you just about go to the floor because you don't have the ability that you had before to use your foot or leg or whatever like you used to use it. Okay, so this is what I'm telling you, that our bodies have all different ways that we can bend. Our wrist have all different ways that they can bend. Our hand, we can spread it out this way. We can pull it in this way. We don't do any of that stuff ever. There's so many things that our bodies are capable of doing that they're supposed to be used. We don't use those things. And what I'm saying to you is, maybe getting old ain't so much our body breaking down as that we didn't get old, we just got older and didn't use our body for so many more years. And so if you're not using your body the way it's meant to be used over a long period of time, the more you don't do those things, the less ability you're going to have to use those things. And I think this goes for a lot of things that we think is just straight up aging. It's just that we don't use our bodies. We don't use our full voice. There's a lot of stuff we just don't use, and so we lose the ability to use them. And one of the things, I had some hair thinning, and I've talked about it in my Instagram stories. I don't know if you can see this right here, but like that's pretty gappy, And so one of the things I think I found out, because I've been doing it looks a little bit better, honestly, it has looked worse, is that, just like cleansing our scalp. I know we all wash our hair and we wash it as good as we can, but sometimes as women, we like to do a facial scrub. We don't do that to that skin up here that has hair coming out of it. It could easily become clogged. We don't do that kind of stuff. And so maybe a good part of losing your hair is the fact that we're not caring for our scalps quite as good as we could, and we're getting older, and the longer we don't care for them, the thing I was saying. And then one last thing, and I promise that I'll let you go on this, that's why yoga's so good, is breathing. And if you notice, there's so many different, like, yoga, meditation, different exercises. I just got a phone call, and I don't know where I was at. I'm sorry. But I do know that what I wanted to say was about our breath, that I do feel like, let me just say this, not the job that I have now, but the job that I had before this one. I helped people get enrolled in a program for elderly people, and their diagnosis came across my desk. I guarantee you, I never did the math on it, but I would say a good 85 to 90% of the people that were enrolled in that program, their primary diagnosis was something to do with breathing, like congestive heart failure or COPD. And that's what most of them, that was their health issues, why that they needed this program, was because of breathing issues. And I know a lot of these people probably did smoke, but I know that a lot of them didn't, because that was also something that was on their paperwork, whether they smoked or not. So to say that, I just wanted to say this. I feel like we don't use our lung capacity either, so we just breathe very shallow. I mean, it doesn't even feel like it goes down in my chest when I breathe normal. So I feel like I just keep going back to different things. But I know my mom has, when she's been in the hospital, that they always make her do breathing treatments when she's in there to exercise her lungs, so that she gets that kind of stuff gets better faster, or she doesn't get pneumonia. I think that's why they do it, so that you don't get pneumonia when you're in the hospital. So that is another thing. That's one of the first things they do for you when you've been in the hospital, is a lot of times they'll make you take breathing treatments, and you have to blow in this thing, and it make this thing go up, rise so far or whatever. I honestly can't remember how you do it, but okay. So let's just move on. This never happens. My phone is ringing off the hook. And that was probably somebody telling me that I stayed at their resort once, and I didn't. But anyway, so I feel like if we do those kind of breathing, the kind of breathing that they ask you to do when you do yoga or you do meditation, which is to go and fill your lungs and then blow all the way out, all the way in, and just do that every day for a period of time, as long as we can. And maybe, it would be nice if we could make that a habit, that we just breathe that way. I don't know if that's possible, but just use your lungs, use your body, use your lungs. Take care of yourself. Drink water. You don't have to get old. Saturday I'm going to be 51, and I still do everything I've always done. Everything except turn cartwheels. But other than that, I still do everything I ever did when I was a high school cheerleader. So just take care of yourself. That's it. Now I've got to pin all this stuff together, and I hate that. So I don't even know how long this video is. It's going to be more than 5 minutes, but okay. Have a good rest of the day after you watch this video. Thank you. Let's see what happens with this new microphone and this tripod, so that I don't look like you always see me from down here, and now you're getting to see my, like, a real face. But bye.